Okay, let's just dive right in. The whole world of enterprise resource planning, ERP, is going through this massive transformation. We're talking about a fundamental shift from seeing ERP as just some back office tool to it becoming the actual strategic brain of the entire company.
And look, this isn't some far-off future thing. It is happening right now. A recent report found that almost 73% of organizations are already using AI. So think about that. That means your competition, they're not waiting around. They're building intelligent systems today that can predict, adapt, and grow in ways older systems just can't.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. An outdated ERP isn't just a little inefficient anymore. No way. In a market that moves this fast, where data is everything, a system that can't keep up is a serious strategic risk. Which brings us to what we're calling the 2026 trap. You see, so many companies have these amazing, ambitious goals for AI and automation, but they're trying to build those dreams on a foundation that's totally broken. It's kind of like trying to build a skyscraper on quicksand. It's just not going to work.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll dig into that 2026 trap. Then, we'll explore what this new intelligence layer really looks like. We'll talk about the paths you can take, get super real about what implementation actually involves, and we'll wrap up with 5 features that are absolutely non-negotiable for 2026.
Okay, so let's start with the trap itself. Holding on to these old legacy systems designed for a totally different era. It's not just about missing out on new bells and whistles. It's about actively holding your business back.
And this chart really shows you the whole story. On one hand, you've got legacy systems. They were these giant, monolithic things stuck on premise. They trapped data in silos and were pretty much only good for looking backwards. The new stack? It's the complete opposite. It's modular, it's born in the cloud, and it uses integrated real-time data to actually orchestrate what happens next using built-in AI. I mean, the difference is just night and day.
So the really critical idea here is this shift from just tracking inputs to actively orchestrating outcomes. A modern ERP is no longer just a passive bookkeeper. It's becoming the central nervous system of the smart factory, the brain of the intelligent enterprise.
And this isn't happening in a vacuum. This change is being forced by some really powerful trends. We're talking about AI-driven analytics that give you predictive insights, the need for supply chains that can react on their own when things go wrong, and of course, mandatory ESG compliance that you have to track constantly. Not to mention game changers like digital twins and configuration lifecycle management, or CLM, which are becoming totally essential.
Let's just pause on digital twin for a second, because it's so important. Basically, it's a perfect virtual copy of something in the real world, like a machine or even your whole production line. This is where the new power of ERP really shines. You can simulate production runs, you can stress test your supply chain, predict when a machine is going to fail, all inside the system. You can optimize everything in the virtual world before you spend a single dollar in the real one. It's incredible.
So, this all leads to a pretty big decision you have to make. Once you see that you need to change, you're at a fork in the road. Do you go with one of the established giants, or do you explore the much more flexible world of open source?
In one corner, you've got the heavyweights. You've got SAP building its conversational AI YOL right into S/4HANA. Oracle has its really mature Fusion AI platform. Workday is a leader with its Illuminate AI for anything HR and finance. And of course, Microsoft is injecting its powerful Copilot AI all over the Dynamics 365 ecosystem. They each have their sweet spot. But then, in the other corner, you have these disruptive players like ERP Next. It's a full-on open-source system. And the keywords there are open source and flexible. It's a really powerful and often much lower-cost alternative, especially for companies that need a ton of customization.
So, what are the actual trade-offs here? Well, with the giants, you get this polished, fully supported product, but you're going to pay a high licensing cost and you're pretty locked in when it comes to customization. With an open-source solution like ERP Next, the software itself can be free and you can customize it to your heart's content, but you're going to need that technical expertise in-house or a really good partner to make it all work.
And that brings us to a really crucial reality check, because picking the software, that's just the first step. A successful ERP project is 100% about the execution. If you don't plan this part right, you're looking at a world of pain with costly delays and rework.
And this breakdown of the true cost is so revealing. Look at that tiny little slice for the software license. The actual sticker price is just the tip of the iceberg. The real money,
The huge investment is in your implementation partner, migrating all your data, customization, and training your people. These are those so-called hidden costs that can absolutely destroy a budget if you're not ready for them.
A project that works follows a really clear path. You have to start with a deep dive into what you actually need and a careful plan for your data. Then comes customization and just tons and tons of testing before you do a controlled rollout. And it doesn't stop at go-live. Ongoing support is absolutely critical to make sure the system is stable and people are actually using it.
But when you get it right, oh man, the payoff is huge. This is real data from a case study with Infor. Look at these numbers. A 30% drop in production downtime, 25% less spent on IT maintenance, and a 20% boost in supply chain efficiency. These are real-world results that go straight to the bottom line.
So with all of that as our backdrop, let's get to the playbook. If you were looking at any ERP system for 2026 and beyond, here are the 5 features that you just cannot compromise on. They are non-negotiable.
First up, it has to be built on a cloud-native, modular architecture, period. This is what gives you the flexibility to add new things or make changes without having to rip out the entire system. Second, AI and machine learning cannot be some afterthought you bolt on. It has to be embedded deep in the core to give you those truly predictive insights.
Number 3, you need real-time, scalable analytics. Your teams need live dashboards that tell them what's happening right now, not some static report from last month. And fourth, compliance and governance have to be built in from the ground up. With all the ESG rules and data privacy laws, this has to be part of the system's DNA.
And finally, number 5. Your ERP does not live on an island. It has to connect and talk seamlessly with your entire tech ecosystem, all your other critical systems, using open APIs. Because disconnected systems, they just create data silos, and that kills growth. A connected ERP is the key that unlocks real scale.
And if you're wondering just how big of a deal this is, the scale of this whole transition is just staggering. The cloud ERP market is projected to be worth over $176 billion by 2032. This isn't some niche trend. It's a massive, industry-wide move to smarter, more agile systems.
So I'll leave you with this one final question to think about. In a world where your systems literally define your ability to adapt and to compete, is the foundation of your business actually ready for what's coming in 2026?